It's a beautiful morning in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So today we're going to continue our journey from the Colorado River to the Colorado Spring. And we have about probably a little over 450 miles yet to go right up I-25. So we're going to venture from Albuquerque up I-25 through Santa Fe, through Raton, into Colorado, through Trinidad, and then into Colorado Springs, and we'll see what we can find along the way. So come on along. We are leaving Albuquerque under the threat of a major snowstorm heading our way. Stay tuned for more on that later in the video. Make sure you watch to the end. However, today it is a beautiful day with ample sunshine. Yesterday we made the left-hand turn so often missed by Bugs Bunny and company and merged onto Interstate 25. I-25 is also known as the Pan American Freeway. It is the main highway through New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. It stretches from I-10 at Las Cruces, New Mexico, just north of El Paso, to I-90 in Buffalo, Wyoming, which is about 60 miles south of the Montana-Wyoming border. All said, it provides a little over 1,000 miles of important roadway connecting these states and provides a valuable supply route for the western United States. In no time, we arrive at the outskirts of Santa Fe, the capital of New Mexico. Human settlement around Santa Fe dates back thousands of years with numerous Pueblo villages located along the Rio Grande River. One of the earliest known settlements was located in what is now downtown Santa Fe and dates back to 900 AD. Santa Fe was founded in 1610, making it the oldest state capital of the United States, with the added distinction of being the state capital at the highest elevation of 7,199 feet above sea level. Santa Fe was Spain's provincial seat at the outbreak of the Mexican War of Independence in 1810. In 1846, the United States declared war on Mexico, and Brigadier General Stephen W. Kearny led the Army into Santa Fe to claim it and the entire New Mexico territory for the United States. In 1848, the U.S. officially gained New Mexico through the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. In 1912, New Mexico was made a state with Santa Fe as its capital. Today, tourism is a major element of the Santa Fe economy. People are drawn to this area for the year-round outdoor activities, as well as the many artistic and cultural opportunities. Let's continue on up the road and enjoy the scenery of the Santa Fe National Forest. This national forest was established in 1915 by combining the Jemez National Forest to the west of Santa Fe with the Pecos National Forest to the east of Santa Fe, encompassing over 1.5 million acres of land. Here at Glorieta Pass, there was a Civil War battle that was fought in 1862. The Confederacy had pushed all the way into and captured Santa Fe in the hopes of controlling the mineral-rich areas of Colorado and Nevada. Ultimately, they wanted to control the supply depot at Fort Union, which is just a little further on up the road here on I-25, and then eventually wind up going all the way over to California and controlling a seaport on the California side. The battle that was fought here at Glorieta Pass actually stopped that incursion. And so it was really an important battle during the Civil War. It was often referred to as the Gettysburg of the West. Now, this is not the furthest west battle of the Civil War. That distinction actually is held at Pueblo Peak in Arizona. Soon after our stop at Glorieta Pass, we find ourselves at Pecos National Historic Park. The park is operated by the National Park Service and preserves historical elements from prehistoric archaeological ruins to the Civil War battlefield that we just saw at Glorieta Pass. The main unit of the park preserves the ruins of Pecos Pueblo, which grew to house more than 2,000 people in a 5-story complex. The Pecos people practiced an elaborate religious life, evidenced by the remains of over 20 kivas. Farming supplied their diet with crops including beans, corns, and squash. Pecos was a major trade center in the eastern part of the Puebloan territory, connecting the Pueblos to the Plains cultures. Pecos was visited by the Coronado expedition in 1540, with the Spanish mission church being built in 1619, but later destroyed in the Pueblo Revolt of 1680. When the Spanish returned, a new smaller church was built in 1717, the remains of which you see today in the park. Here, in spectacular fashion, I-25 cuts through textbook examples of hogback ridges, which mark the boundary between the Great Plains and the southern end of the Rocky Mountains. A hogback is a long, narrow ridge with a narrow crest and steep slopes nearly equal on both sides of the ridge. They consist of alternating beds of hard layers like sandstone and limestone and weak layers like shale. The surface of the hard layer forms the back of the hogback, and the weaker layers form the front of the hogback. And, if you have not already guessed, the term hogback comes from the ridge resemblance to the back of a hog. Woohoo! We've arrived in Las Vegas! Bring on the endless buffets! Wait, we're in Las Vegas, New Mexico, not the lesser-known Las Vegas in Nevada. Las Vegas, New Mexico was established in 1835 and prospered as a stop on the Santa Fe Trail. The arrival of the railroad in 1879 brought prosperity and new residents, both respectable and dubious. Among the most notorious characters were such legends as Doc Holliday, Big Nose Kate, Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Wyatt Earp. A little further on down the road, we catch our first glimpse of the Mora Volcanic Field and the Turkey Mountain High Point. This was created about 8 million years ago as volcanoes began to erupt in the area. We've stopped at the North Fort Union rest stop along I-25. This spot marks the location of where the Santa Fe Trail divided. Now keep in mind, the Santa Fe Trail was an incredibly important trail system that basically supplied all of the area in the southwest. And at this location, this is where the trail actually divided, and a portion of it wound up going down to Cimarron to access that part of the country. We are just about to the town of Wagon Mound, New Mexico. It is named after the Wagon Mound, a prominent landmark that is actually the highly eroded remains of a volcano of the Mora Volcanic Field. This prominent landmark was used by wagon trains and traders going up and down the Santa Fe Trail and is now listed as the Wagon Mound National Historic Landmark. The other landmarks surrounding the Wagon Mound are also volcanic features of the Mora Volcanic Field. In 1930, a deadly tornado struck the town of Wagon Mound, killing 2 individuals. This tornado and one other in 2007 rank as the deadliest tornadoes to ever occur in New Mexico. Southeast of Raton, New Mexico, we catch a glimpse of Laughlin Peak off in the distance. Laughlin Peak is a prominent peak of the Raton-Clayton volcanic field. However, a very interesting little-known feature is located just south of Laughlin Peak and is known as the crater. The crater's true name is the Santa Fe Impact Structure. It was created about 1.5 billion, that's billion, years ago and is highly eroded. The estimated diameter of the original impact crater is 4 to 8 miles. By comparison, the meteor crater in Arizona is only 3/4 of a mile in diameter. The Santa Fe impact would have been 10 times larger. That would have been an incredible sight to see from a distance. We are now crossing the Canadian River. The name may have come from French traders who noted another group of traders from Canada had camped on the river near its confluence with the Arkansas River. There is some debate as to the exact origin of the river's name. Nonetheless, the Canadian River is the longest tributary of the Arkansas River in the United States. It is about 1,026 miles long. It begins in Colorado, travels through New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, and finally in Oklahoma it merges with the Arkansas River. We have finally arrived at Raton, New Mexico after traveling about 250 miles north from Albuquerque. Raton was founded at the site of Willow Springs, a stop on the Santa Fe Trail. The original name of the town was Willow Springs. However, the name was changed to Otero and then renamed to Raton in 1880. Raton means mouse in Spanish. I could not find any reference as to why they named the town Mouse. Please let me know in the comments below if you have the answer to this question. Raton quickly developed as a railroad, mining, and ranching center for the northeast part of New Mexico Territory, as well as the county seat and principal trading center of the area. As we leave Raton and begin to climb towards Raton Pass, we drive through layer upon layer of rock laid down in the bottom of a great seaway that covered this area 66 million years ago, known as the Great Cretaceous Seaway. This well-preserved sequence of rocks records the final days of the Age of Dinosaurs and forever holds the layer known as the KT boundary. The KT boundary is geology shorthand for the Cretaceous Tertiary boundary. Like a snapshot in time, this KT boundary holds the iridium layer that is associated with the large meteorite impact that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs and many other species 66 million years ago. The route that we are currently following to Raton Pass had been used by Spanish explorers and Native Americans for centuries to cut through the rugged Rocky Mountains. It is an historically significant route on the Santa Fe Trail and is designated a National Historic Landmark in 1960. Wait for it. Welcome to Colorado. We have crossed Raton Pass with an elevation of 7,834 feet and entered the Centennial State. It is cold outside, but still no snow. I have a strong feeling we're going to see snow before this video is over, so stay tuned. Colorado was admitted to the Union and became the 38th state in 1876. Colorado's largest city is Denver, with a population of around 800,000 people. The state reptile is the western painted turtle, the state flower is the Rocky Mountain columbine, and the state tree is the Colorado blue spruce. Most importantly, however, the state fossil is the Stegosaurus, the state gemstone is aquamarine, and rhodochrosite is the state mineral. The state rock is the 330 million year old Yule marble, a rock only found near Marble, Colorado. The Yule marble is nearly a pure calcite with a luminous surface. Because of these qualities, the Yule marble was selected to clad the exterior of the Lincoln Memorial, and it was used in the creation of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. On the right-hand side of the interstate is a small prominent landmark known as Huerfano Butte. Huerfano means orphan in Spanish, so named due to its remote location. This butte is all that remains of a much larger volcano, being the hardened lava that cooled in the throat of the volcano during its last dying gasps. The Huerfano River was named after the nearby butte and is a 113-mile-long tributary of the Arkansas River. At the top of the hill is the Huerfano River Wind Farm. It is a very small wind energy farm that uses 4 2-megawatt turbines that feeds into a local electric grid. Welcome to Colorado City in the Greenhorn Valley. Hang in there, we've almost made it to Colorado Springs. But where is that promised snowstorm? This area was named after a Comanche chief and war leader who raided Spanish settlements in New Mexico. The Taos Mountain Trail crossed Greenhorn Creek near present-day Colorado City. The first settlement in the valley was in 1845 when mountain man John Brown and his family established a trading post where the trail crossed the creek, but they left the area in 1849 bound for the rich California goldfields. Okay, here we are outside of Pueblo, Colorado, and we've made a little stop so we can take a look at some of the mountain peaks that we have around here. In the distance, the prominent peak that you see on the horizon, that's called Greenhorn Mountain. It's part of the wet mountains that you can see that's dominating the landscape here. So you got Greenhorn Mountain, and then if you turn and you slowly look over into the distance, where we are ultimately heading is in the distance. We are going to be taking and stopping at Pikes Peak, which you can see is the prominent peak on the horizon. As we approach Pueblo, Colorado, a major industry in the area comes into view, the GCC Cement Plant. GCC is a regional manufacturer of cement and concrete products. This state-of-the-art facility in Pueblo was commissioned in 2008 and produces 1 million tons of cement per year. Pueblo, Colorado is situated at the confluence of the Arkansas River and Fountain Creek and is considered the banana belt of Colorado. It tends to get less snow than the other major cities in Colorado. Pueblo got its start as a trading post of sorts in 1842. After a period of abandonment, it again became very important in 1859 during the Colorado Gold Rush. Agricultural development around Pueblo was always of vital importance. However, steel emerged as a key industry very early, earning it the nickname Steel City. For most of Pueblo's history, the main industry in town was the Colorado Fuel and Iron Steel Mill on the south side of town. For nearly a century, it was the largest employer in the state of Colorado. However, the steel market crash of 1982 led to the decline of the company. After several bankruptcies and strikes, the company is now owned by one of Russia's biggest steel producers. Today, only the electric furnaces used for scrap recycling and the rail, rod, bar, and seamless tube mills are still in operation. The blast furnace structure was torn down in 1989. As we drive by the old plant site, the stoves and foundations for some of the furnaces can be seen. After traveling nearly 440 miles today, we have arrived at the outskirts of Colorado Springs. However, our final destination lies just to the west of our present location. We are taking another left-hand turn to wind up in Manitou Springs, Colorado. Here we will be able to visit an historic location full of active mineral springs. It is at Manitou Springs we will complete our 900-mile quest to taste the mineral springs of the Colorado Springs area and hopefully experience the delight of a spring Colorado snowstorm. On our way to Manitou Springs, we passed through Old Colorado City, once a town, but now a neighborhood of Colorado Springs. Founded during the Pikes Peak Gold Rush of 1859, it was involved in the mining industry, both as a supply hub and as a gold ore processing center, was briefly known as El Dorado, and was the short-lived capital of the Colorado Territory. Colorado City functioned as the capital for only 5 days when the Second Territorial Legislature met at Colorado City on July 7, 1862, voted to adjourn on July 11th, and reconvene in Denver on July 16th. Manitou Springs was founded in 1872 by General William Jackson Palmer and Dr. William Abraham Bell for its natural mineral springs. They aspired to build the town as a scenic health resort built at the base of Pikes Peak. The town has several mineral springs originally named Manitou after the breath of the Great Spirit Manitou, who is believed to have created the bubbles in the spring water. Ute, Arapaho, Cheyenne, and other Plains tribes all came to this area to share in the gifts of the water without worry or conflict. Originally, there were 9 or 10 natural springs in this location. Later, medical practitioners promoted the health benefits of the area as an outstanding environment for the treatment of tuberculosis. Some of the natural springs were enclosed as the town grew, and by the early 1900s, more than 50 wells had been drilled to increase the spring capacity. However, after the town's popularity diminished, some of the springs were capped or paved over. In 1987, the Mineral Springs Foundation was formed to restore some of the springs and promote the benefits of the spring water. Many of the town's mineral springs function today, and the water is free for those who would like to experience the differing flavors of the springs. Here we are in Manitou Springs, Colorado, just outside of Colorado Springs. So we've made it from the Colorado River to the Colorado Springs. The springs themselves are all along the Front Range here, and Manitou Springs is well known for its spas. In fact, in the background you can see Sunwater Spas, not a sponsor. And there's a whole bunch of mineral springs located all along the Front Range here. Colorado Springs itself was first established in about 1859, where Fountain Creek and Camp Creek basically came together out onto the plains once you dropped off onto the Front Range. It was established during the Pike Peak Gold Rush, and so the first established settlements in the area, 1859. But keep in mind, this area had long been utilized for centuries upon centuries by the Utes, the Arapahoes, and the Cheyennes. And so all of this area was well known for its mineral springs, and in 1859 also for gold. And so as gold influence happened, all these towns started to popping up along the Front Range in Colorado. Manitou Springs was established as a gold mining town, but it's also, like I said, well known for its mineral hot springs. The spring water at Manitou Springs originates from two very different sources. The first source is called deep-seated water. This water makes its way through limestone aquifers located deep underground. The limestone in the water slowly dissolves with time and creates carbon dioxide, making the water naturally bubbly. This water eventually rises to the surface and produces artesian springs. The second source of water comes from the surface waters from the watershed basins of Fountain Creek and Williams Canyon.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings.
Here we see the Cheyenne Spring. It is a soda spring with its sweet water coming from limestone aquifers about 5,000 feet below where I stand. The spring's water is available to the public in the bronze sculpture by Paul Rogers. Okay, here goes nothing. We drove 900 miles to taste the mineral springs, so I might as well get on with it. Minerally.
As the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it is just.
And did it ever snow, you ask? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. We were snowed in for 2 days. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you hit that big subscribe button. I'd like to thank you for coming along on our journey from the Colorado River to the Colorado Springs. And if you like this video and you like this content, you like seeing the country like what we've shown you for the last couple of days, we've traveled pretty close to about 900 miles. If you like this type of content, you like the kind of video, please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. We sure do appreciate everybody who comes along and watches our videos. Well, till next time, don't take a trip. Let the trip take you. I'll be seeing you on down the road.